Houston, are you ready to rodeo? It is almost time for the 2023 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Opening day is February 28th, but we have a ton to get through before then. There's the World's Championship Barbecue Contest, better known as Cook-Off, starting February 23rd. The trail riders have to get here ahead of the parade on February 25th. It's a lot. Hey there, I'm digital anchor Brandy Smith. In this KHU 11 Plus special, we're taking a look back at last year's event, everything we covered leading up to and during the 2022 rodeo season. Just a heads up, I did spend a lot of time at the rodeo last year filing a lot of stories, so I might show up unexpectedly a few times. I'll ask you again, you ready? Things usually get kick-started by the Rodeo Uncorked Best Bites competition. Hundreds of award-winning wines get paired with dishes from some of the Houston area's culinary institutions, all for you to sample. This year's event is scheduled for February 19th. Tickets start at $165 a person or $2,000 for a table. That's about when some of the 11 teams of trail riders start making their way toward Houston. They come from all over, Cheek, Angleton, Shepherd, to be a part of the rodeo parade. Ron Trevino caught up with a few of them last February.
We're good. No one has invented a time machine yet, but the trail rides do their best to try to take us back to the Old West. This is the Southwestern Trail Ride with its 10 wagons and 250 riders traveling from West Columbia to Houston.
That's how you do it, guys.
Here's the Southwest Trail Ride, which is headed out of Rosenberg. It's been around for 29 years.
I get hit, man. You look as pimpy.
But the oldest and biggest group, the Saltgrass Trail Ride, embarking on their 71st year, 1,000 members. By Zoom, I caught up with one of them.
We've all missed each other. It was a big party on Friday night when we all got to see each other.
Connie Meyer says it's all about tradition and all about family.
And then, of course, we've got children that are out here. That's the history. And I mean, that is the future of our ride. We have kids out here as young as 2 years old riding horseback.
In all, there are around 3,000 people taking part in 10 trail rides covering roughly 1,300 miles.
While that's happening beyond Houston, something very special is happening on rodeo grounds. The Top Hands Horse Show. This parade through NRG Arena is decades in the making.
The first show was in 1997.
25 years later, Top Hands Horse Show is bigger than ever.
There's something like 200 riders out here today, special riders.
Some with physical challenges, some with intellectual challenges, some with both, all with a passion for horses and competition.
It builds their confidence, it builds their self-esteem, it gives them an opportunity to shine and be in control.
Stacey Anderson is chairman of the rodeo's Special Children's Committee.
It's like a family.
Which puts the event on.
There's so few horse shows that honor this special population.
You'll see the biggest smiles ever when they compete.
This is Ken Sargent's 19th show.
Our daughter spent her first few years with a lot of behavioral problems, but put her on the back of a horse and it just kind of all melts away.
His team is one of more than 20 competing in different categories like showmanship.
The person is on the ground and showing a horse.
Riders have options: English equitation, Western equitation, barrels, and Coach Sargent's favorite, trail.
It's meant to emulate what a ranch hand would experience.
This is like the Olympics of the horse shows for them. So they work all year long, they train at their individual clubs, and then they come here. We have judges, we have awards, so we have it's just an enormous show.
A show with 25 years of history, 25 years of impact, 25 years of connection.
These are the greatest people and the greatest show that any parent could ever ask for.
The Top Hands Horse Show is scheduled for February 16th, 17th, and 18th this year. While that happens inside NRG Arena, the parking lot around it, around all of NRG Park, will soon be transformed for the carnival and cook-off. More than 250 teams compete to prove one thing, that their barbecue is the best. Matt Doherty got a look inside the pits on day one.
We have brisket, chicken, sausage.
If you can smoke it, they've got it.
We think we cook way too much food.
The crowds were back, not shy about lining up for seconds this season after the World Championship barbecue contest was canceled last year.
We are ready, we're pumped, we're excited to be back.
David Stone is the cook-off's chairman. The contest has been an annual event for 48 years. And this year there's something new. Cooks have always competed to win trophies for the best traditional barbecue fare like brisket, sausage, and chicken. This season, there's an open category where cooks can enter anything they desire.
They could turn in steak and lobster, they could turn in alligator, whatever they want, non-dessert, anything they want.
This year was different for other reasons too. Everything is more expensive.
The briskets, this year we paid $4.59 to $4.89 a pound, and that's unusual because most time it's $1.99.
Tim McLaren at the United Airlines tent says they added more pork to the offerings for guests this year because prices were so high.
That's what we have to do, you know?
But nobody even noticed. After missing a year of the cook-off, everything tasted better than we all remembered.
Cook-off teams aren't the only ones serving up food the weekend before rodeo starts. Carnival rides and vendors are also up and running by then.
We've missed you guys and we're happy to be back.
Happy to be back after an almost 2-year break.
We've spent this last 2 years innovating, refreshing everything, new food stands, new rides.
5 to be exact. Atlantis Funhouse, the Dragon Family Coaster, Moonraker, Winky the Whale, and the Liberty Wheel.
I think this is going to be the only and first event with 5 Ferris wheels.
They may be some of the largest rides at NRG Park right now.
My favorite, it's got to be the XL wheel, our signature piece, absolutely.
But they represent a small fraction in the scheme of things. There are 80 rides set up and ready to roll, or spin, or fly, or, well, you get the idea.
Always wanting to stay on that leading edge and provide the best entertainment and the safest entertainment for all the Houstonians.
Safety is a top priority, which is why rides are inspected while they're erected.
And every day before we open to the public.
If rides aren't your thing, maybe games are. There are 54 options here with plenty of prizes on display.
We want something for every age group.
Same goes for food. There are 36 different stands where you can grab a bite of turkey leg, cotton candy, or just about anything you can imagine.
Having something for everybody keeps them here longer. They're going to eat longer. They're going to play longer.
The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo has a Texas-sized menu, and it takes a lot of logistics to put that together. A lot of planning, 7 months worth to be exact.
I've personally been working on this event since July of last year.
Dominic Palmieri is the Midway gourmet for RCS Carnival, the company that brings all this to life.
When we talk about the volume here at the rodeo, we talk about trailer loads of product, several trailer loads of turkey legs, trailer loads of French fries, rail cars of potatoes.
Like everyone else, he is dealing with supply chain issues.
Sometimes they're coming in the day that we need them, when we've ordered them a month or 2 months out.
Even so, Palmieri promises quality and some new menu items. Let's start with crunchy Flamin' Hot pickles and a hot Cheetos float.
We have several items that we put Cheetos on. We put Cheetos on caramel apples. We put Cheetos on the cheese fries. We put Cheetos on your street corn and on the big giant corn, fresh corn that we have. We like it because it's spicy and it has that texture appeal.
Other new menu items include bacon-wrapped pork belly, on a stick of course, a watermelon Dole Whip taco, and a cotton candy taco.
You actually hold it and eat the ice cream out of the shell of a cotton candy taco.
We have the full rundown of the new options on KHOU.com. The pictures there might make you hungry, but there is only one way to satisfy that carnival food craving.
You want to come here to try these foods because they're only going to be here during rodeo time, and then they're gone.
The offerings in the carnival, probably a little different than what trail riders ate on their way into town. Jason Miles tagged along with the Southwestern Trail Ride team.
All trails lead to H-Town ahead of Rodeo Houston. A tradition back in the saddle following last year's cancellation.
It's like in, I'm gonna say horse heaven, not hog heaven, horse heaven.
The Southwestern Trail Ride, which starts its trek from West Columbia, stopped for lunch in Meyerland on the way to Memorial Park. delighting, among others, these kids from Beth Yeshurun Day School.
I didn't think I was going to do another trail ride after as sick as I was.
Longtime Houston firefighter Kerry Hunter battled COVID along with 3 close co-workers, but only he survived to ride again.
I don't care if it's snowing, raining, as long as we're on our horse, it's a great time. It's a great, great time.
This map shows you where this year's 10 trail rides originated, from Anderson to Angleton, Brazoria to Brenham. Downtown Houston will be the final destination.
They're going to kick off the parade tomorrow morning. We have over 110 entries on parade day.
In the words of the rodeo,
Cowgirl up, y'all, cowgirl up.
riders hit the trail in an attempt to recreate the Old West, and in doing so, find common ground.
All the trail ride teams were there for the 2022 Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Parade. Brittany Ford took us there.
The marching bands, the horses, the crowds were back.
Let's rodeo! We didn't even expect the crowd to be this big, so it just means everybody's been itching to get back out here.
Saturday, Houston Rodeo's annual parade returned to the streets of downtown.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
A tradition dating back to the 1930s, celebrating Western heritage, attracting people.
Oh yeah, all the high school bands, those guys do kids do a great job. It's been fun to watch.
Of all ages.
What's your favorite part? The horses.
The 90th anniversary and the official kickoff to the rodeo might just be.
You think this one is the best yet? Yes.
Brittany Ford, KHOU 11 News.
Yo, we haven't even gotten to the rodeo part of rodeo season. Those were all the events leading up to gates opening. Here's a rundown when they're happening in 2023 so you can mark your calendar. Opening day is February 28th. Check out what it looked like when gates opened in 2022. Janelle Bluda was part of that crowd.
Those who are here today say Houston Rodeo is back and better than ever. It was March 11, 2020. Anna Drews was on the showroom floor with her lamb when the announcement was made.
Very hectic. There were a lot of people and nobody really knew what was going on.
Rodeo Houston was canceled only days after it began. But today, 2 years later, it's back, and so is Anna, along with Bonnie and Caroline.
It's just a good environment. I love just seeing all the other animals and being able to compete. Even if I don't win, it's just a good experience.
From the livestock show to the carnival and, of course, the funnel cakes, Rodeo Houston is chock full of things to do, and this year it's got even more. And then hold for me.
New features include interactive photo booths, a Coca-Cola ice house, and a brand new fine dining restaurant right outside the stadium.
It makes it so much nicer. I mean, you can get a hot dog, you can get some pizza, whatever, but to come down and have a fine dining experience is amazing.
Inside the stadium, it was round one of the Rodeo Super Series. After that, Cody Johnson took the stage as this year's opening performer. His fourth time at Houston Rodeo, his little fans clearly excited.
Listening to Cody Johnson's song.
His songs? What's your favorite song?
If you got a chance, take it.
Can you sing it for me?
All those visitors aren't the only ones happy. Competitors are excited to be back in the stadium. Photojournalist Eric Duralius introduced us.
We've been waiting for life to go back to normal with being rodeo cowboys. It's been a challenge. Literally the day after our set was over, they shut Rodeo Houston down, and then all of our tour rodeos followed. That's how I make a living. That's how I put food on the table and pay my bills. I started a farm-to-table beef business here in Houston and called Thomas Cattle and Catering, and it's just been a huge blessing. God blessed us through the whole thing, and I was able to make a living and provide for my family, you know, in the midst of waiting for this rodeo and all the other rodeos to come back online and for the world to be normal again so that we could go compete.
Here is the Aussie Texan, Anthony Thomas, 2011 Australian champ, now in Houston, Texas.
I always get pumped up about coming to this rodeo. Everybody talks about the feeling of coming to Rodeo Houston in the wintertime, I mean, it's just amazing. A level of electricity that you can't find at most other rodeos, and it just happens to be the biggest tour rodeo in America. You don't think about anything when the gate opens, you just try to stay calm and focused. All the training that I've put in during the week and weeks and months and years leading up to riding here is what I put my trust in. Rodeo's like no other. Kind of looked up and looked around, and everything seems so quiet but so loud at the same time, and it really fires you up to do the best job, and it makes you feel like you're a professional. I love this rodeo. Everybody has a hometown rodeo that they get pumped up to ride at, and for me it's Houston.
One bareback rider's family roots run deep at Rodeo Houston. He's a third-generation cowboy whose grandparents rode in the Astrodome. Zach Tawatari shared that story.
I mean, there's a little guy on my shoulder going, are we really wanting to do this?
It would be an understatement to say that rocker Steiner was raised on rodeo.
My goodness.
The 17-year-old is a rising bareback riding star, but he's the latest in a long line.
Oh, yeah, he's talking.
From his world champion grandfather and father to his barrel racing grandma, mom, and sister, it's safe to say the Steiners are rodeo royalty.
My dad and granddad are my best friends, and I'm very close with my mom and my grandmother, and my sister. Me and my sister are getting closer all the time.
And they're forever connected to the Houston Rodeo. Not only have they competed in the past, but Grandma and Grandpa were engaged 50 years ago in the Astrodome.
It's always been a special occasion for us.
But nobody thought Rocker, a champion wakeboarder, would choose to rodeo. With a name like his, though, the rodeo may just have chosen him.
Jamie and I named him Rocker, and he's lived up to that every single day.
Every day.
And as he keeps looking for the next 8,
We had an hour to talk about the lineage of 6 generations of this.
he's making a name all his own.
I want to leave my own mark, and I want kids in 50, 60 years to watch my old highlights and want to be like me, and I'm just being me, so if they want to be me, that's cool.
In 2022, Rodeo Houston announced the addition of a new event, women's breakaway roping.
Taylor Hanchy of Carmine, Texas.
This
Went to college at Texas A&M University.
is not Taylor Hanchy's first rodeo.
She got out right. Good job, Taylor.
It is.
And she'll tie.
Her first Rodeo Houston appearance as a breakaway roper, though.
If you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it, and I like that it's just bam, 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 and we're done.
Done, in Taylor's case, in 2.9 seconds.
Great job. You see how she pulled that slack right back to her knee, then released the rope and allowed it to break away? Perfect form.
The training is just as much mental as it is physical, just because it does happen so fast that you almost have to let instinct take over.
Watch as the all-around cowgirl. Taylor puts it on with her world champion husband watching.
That would be tie-down roper Shane Hanchy.
Very much a little bit of rivalry and competition, but it's fun. It makes both of us better.
Clearly. Wednesday night, Taylor advanced to the semifinals, which means she gets to introduce more people to breakaway roping.
I think Rodeo Houston brings a lot of non-rodeo fans, so we're getting to be in front of people that haven't seen rodeo much, but probably have never seen breakaway roping.
The Super Series gets underway Tuesday, February 28th at 6:45 p.m. It'll wrap up with the championship on Sunday, March 19th at 3:45 p.m. Zach Tawatari showed us how last year's championship played out.
The only way I can put it is that these athletes saved the best for last and left it all out on the rodeo floor, only adding to the 90-year tradition that is Rodeo Houston. There was no doubt that fans of all ages were here to rodeo.
And I'm really excited because it's the finals.
Because of the finals, yeah, we're definitely wanted to come see closer to the final, the better candidates.
And on the floor, big rides and even bigger paydays were handed out while champions were crowned and stars were made.
An 18-year-old
rocker Steiner
crown jewels of all at the age of 18 to his trophy case.
Made it to the bareback riding shootout, placing second overall in his first Rodeo Houston. The third-generation cowboy living up to his name in front of a packed house.
Oh man, it meant so much to me to come to this legendary rodeo and do as good as I did, and I'm excited to come back next year.
And there he is! Woo! And the future is also looking bright for FFA students like Seguin High School sophomore Taylor Brawley.
That is Taylor Brawley of Seguin.
Who won the Super Scramble and says he'll use the majority of his $10,000 towards an animal he will raise. The goal to show that animal at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo next year.
I was looking around at first, and then I noticed I was first. I was pretty blessed.
Let's paint this picture.
A final nod to another one in the books, and a look forward to being back next year.
At the rodeo, we can all be cowboys or cowgirls. One committee makes sure all children can live out that dream.
This is our event for our youngest cowboys and cowgirls.
The Little Rustlers Rodeo.
They come ages 5 to 12, and we put on a mock rodeo.
For kids like Gabriel, who is
10,
it's something to look forward to.
I was so excited to do this.
Gabriel has lots of different kinds of medical issues, but he's just a wonderful little boy.
Dad Ken and the whole Camerino family came out to support their little rustler Tuesday night.
Well, it's a one in a million thing. We never get a chance to do anything like this. We're pretty much at home a lot, so getting the opportunity to get out and do something, it's very special.
Special, because on this night, families get to stay on the sidelines.
The parents are in the stands right here, and sometimes they've really never been able to step back and allow their child to participate. And I think that's pretty amazing.
They can do that because the rodeo's Special Children's Committee found every little rustler a grown-up cowboy or cowgirl to help them ride a bull, barrel race, hop on a horse, play horseshoes, and so much more.
They get a trophy, they get a belt buckle, they get a picture.
A picture to remember this night, when these kids got to be just like the cowboys and cowgirls they see on TV.
This is just it's a dream come true for all of us.
Keep an eye out for Little Rustlers Rodeo in NRG Center on March 1st, 8th, and 14th. The same committee organizes Sensory Friendly Day. See, the carnival at the rodeo is usually full of bright lights and loud music. It can be a little overwhelming, especially for kids with sensory sensitivities.
This is Mason, M-A-S-O-N. You know how to spell your name.
Mason, who's almost 4, usually wouldn't be able to spend a day at the rodeo.
When we've come for other events, he's not able to participate because he just has meltdowns.
For a few hours on Friday morning, the carnival's flashing lights and booming music were muted, so kids like Mason can cruise along without being overstimulated.
Without the lights and all the noise and everything, he's able to participate and have so much fun. He's enjoying it so much.
Don't take Mom's word for it. Just look at that smile.
So far, I think his favorite was the motorcycle. He liked holding onto the motorcycle. He liked the pig and he liked the whale, so he's liked them all. This is such a huge opportunity for this community and for the special needs community to come out and enjoy the rodeo.
Stacey Anderson chairs the committee that organized the rodeo's second ever sensory friendly day.
I've had hundreds of emails from families that have said, we've never been able to take our family to the rodeo. So they're actually giving a chance to come out and enjoy the show that we all love so much.
This year, volunteers manned the gates, offering up backpacks full of sensory-friendly goodies, maps, and a smile for families of special kids as they came in.
Well, I think it means everything. I think the rodeo always does a good job of including everyone, but this is really giving everybody an opportunity.
An opportunity for kids like Mason to just be a kid.
It's very exciting. I wish there were more events like this, and I'm so thankful that the rodeo has this, so thank y'all.
Sensory Friendly Day is March 2nd this year. It's one of a number of special days at the rodeo. Take a look. Armed Forces Appreciation Day is March 1st. Black Heritage Day is March 3rd. That features day-long festivities culminating with Bun B's Southern Takeover. Last year, he hosted the H-Town Takeover, you'll remember. Zach Tawatari gave us a recap.
On a frigid night, H-Town didn't fail to turn up for one of its own.
Just to be able to represent our city
through everything we done been through.
Thousands of people poured into NRG to see some of their favorite Houston rappers, headlined by Bun B, and appropriately named H-Town Takeover.
We got your boy Toby coming out, we got Zero coming out, Slim Thugger, Power Wall, Zero. You know, it's enough for H-Town. It's a good night for us.
Bun B is the first African-American man from Houston to headline the concert, making history on Rodeo's Black Heritage Day.
We need to have more days for Black Heritage, but it's good to have one night for us with the radio.
And the H-Town love extended to Bun's Trill Burger pop-up, where loyal fans expressed just how special this moment in time is, where so many Houston artists are in the same place at the same time.
It's always been like a dream to see all of them at once.
United by their love and loyalty for Houston.
Houston, we here.
A couple more special days to mention. March 6th is First Responders Day, when all first responders with a badge get free admission to NRG Park, along with 4 of their family members.
Our entire committee and all 35,000 volunteers for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo are the ones who come together to make this happen so that we can express our gratitude to all of our first responders that serve, and want to say thank you. Within the last 2 years, we've had 41 deaths. We are going to make sure that we recognize all 41 that have passed away, and their families are here as well for us to pay tribute to them.
The event also names First Responders of the Year. In 2022, that included Metro Police Officer Brendan McDonough, who saved a woman who was being attacked on a Metro rail platform. The rodeo surprised him by flying in his mother, who was battling cancer.
I wasn't expecting to see her here, so it was definitely kind of a little shock. I'm good. Speechless, honestly. I didn't think this would happen.
I'm here.
In all, the rodeo recognized 15 individuals and 1 group for demonstrating innovation, bravery, and life-saving efforts. Finally, March 12th is Tejano Day. Matt Doherty took a look at its history and impact.
It's such a big day for the community, particularly for the Latino community.
Tejano Day was created back in 1990, a merging of Texas cowboy culture with that of the Mexican vaquero. As the city evolved, so did the day. More and more Houstonians began to see it as a day that was made for them.
I think that's a direct reflection of the community. As the community becomes more diverse, and we know Houston is such a diverse community, that the people that represent the Latino community, this has become a really important day for them.
Always held on a Sunday, it holds the title for the 3rd most attended rodeo day in history. And it has been the stage for some of the rodeo's most memorable moments. Not only are performances specific to the day, so are some of the events. The finals for this year's Mariachi Invitational, as well as Fiesta Charra, the exhibition of traditional Mexican folk dance, music, and horseback riding. It's one more day visitors are excited to see return.
So happy for us to be back, and we're welcoming them back, and it just couldn't be going any better.
From the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
New this year, the rodeo added Community Day on March 8th. Everyone gets in free until noon that day. Here's one more look at the 2023 special days before we move on. We have more information about each one on khou.com/rodeo. We haven't touched on this yet, but the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is a nonprofit. Last year, it awarded more than $14 million in scholarships, gave more than $5 million to junior show exhibitors, distributed $2.5 million in educational program grants, and provided about $500,000 in graduate assistantships. Jennifer Reyna met one of those recipients.
Every year, 350 Texas students are awarded big money for college thanks to their work at the rodeo. We're talking $20,000 in scholarships to a 4-year university.
Hi. Can you get up?
At only 8 years old, Rachel White started showing her goats in her hometown of Burleson, Texas, 20 miles south of Fort Worth. While other 5th graders were trying to pick up a sport or hang out with friends, Rachel picked up a love for livestock.
My passion was kind of with agriculture. I just hadn't really found that out yet until I got in 5th grade and I started showing goats.
Her mom had showed sheep in high school and her dad poultry.
Come on.
So you could say it ran in the family.
Okay. I decided I wanted to show a goat because they had a collar around their neck, so I thought they would be easier to hold on to.
And that was it. Little did she know that this love for animals would lead to many years of hard work and eventually a future at a 4-year college.
You know, I had animals to take care of every single year, so, you know, waking up at 6 a.m., taking care of something before I took care of myself.
As Rachel grew up, she would continue to care for the animals, learn more about the livestock, and in her sophomore year in high school, she became a Texas Youth Livestock Ambassador. And in 2020, she became a Rodeo Houston Scholarship recipient.
I became a Houston Scholar in 2020, and the $20,000 scholarship that I got from Houston has really helped to get me through undergrad at A&M. It allowed me to go to my dream school and not have to worry about the financial side of it as much.
Rachel's gone on to become a student intern at the Goat Show at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
I've been here all week and I see how much work gets put on behind the scenes and what it takes to put the show on, and it is absolutely insane.
And she says she's still learning, still appreciative of the many opportunities the rodeo has afforded her.
Thousands of junior exhibitors like Rachel come to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo to exhibit the animals they raised. Their hard work can pay off in scholarship money, but from goats to pigs, chickens, and steers, only the best of the best leave the arena with the title of Grand Champion. Those are the ones that typically go for the most at auction. The rodeo hosts 5 livestock auctions. Here are the 2023 dates for the junior commercial steer, lamb, and goat, poultry, swine, and steer auctions. Last year, the Grand Champion steer was bought by past Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo president Don D. Jordan and his family. The price tag, $1 million. That blew the 2019 record of $625,000 out of the water. Student artists can also win big through the school art contest, which also culminates in an auction. Matt Doherty showed us the winning pieces.
The subject matter for this year's Grand Champion was not what she'd call her specialty.
Normally I do color pencil portraits of like family members or like related to Vietnamese heritage. And it's really different than Western art.
Grayson Nguyen spent months on her work titled In His Hands.
To me, it's kind of like how when an event happens, usually, especially in Texas, like people will stop and pray and it'll be a group prayer and it's kind of a communal thing. And you're able to just for a moment, everyone's quiet and they're listening to one person speaking and they're kind of putting their trust in something other than themselves.
The Glenda Dawson High School junior never thought she'd be taking home the top prize.
Didn't mean to, but I started crying. Like it was unbelievable.
This year's reserve Grand Champion is by Lamar CISD junior Mia Huckman. The oil painting is titled Partners in Time. Nguyen says the winners will take home tens of thousands of dollars in prize money. She says hers is already dedicated to her college fund. From NRG Park, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
While the auctions get a lot of attention at Rodeo Houston, there are so many other contests going on that you might not know about. One of them is the Tractor Technician Competition.
3, 2, 1, begin.
In a contest where every minute counts,
They have 30 minutes to debug a tractor and get that tractor running.
these Texas high schoolers are on a mission.
This is their Super Bowl. I mean, this is the state FFA competition.
The State FFA Tractor Technician Competition. It started Sunday with 36 teams from all over Texas.
Your heartbeat gets going.
10 made it to the main arena in NRG Center on Monday.
We're actually the first all-girls team to make it to the floor at a state contest.
An hour before they hit the floor, organizers issue the challenge. A customer dropped off a tractor with 5 issues that they have to repair.
They give us service manuals to look through, and so we took about 45 minutes and looked through both of those books and put tabs on certain pages so that they were easy to find.
The pages may be easy to find, the fixes not so much.
You can have 10 hours up there in a room, and until you're right here in front of the tractor, you just don't know what you're looking for and you don't know how to fix it.
A missing PTO shaft cover, a light bug, a missing seat switch.
And there was a ECU control sensor that was unplugged.
The teams are scored on whether they fully addressed each issue.
Each bug is worth 45 points in and of itself. So driving first gets you 50 points, but if you miss any of those bugs, it's lost completely.
This competition teaches more than just tractor repair. It teaches teamwork, communication, and the value of hard work.
Keeping our cool is a big thing. Me and my team, we've worked together a lot lately. We've been working all year on this.
That paid off for Gage White and the rest of the team from San Antonio's James Madison High School.
We brought it together. We really did.
They placed first.
It's great. We've been working so hard. I've been doing this for 2 years, and this is the goal.
Belleville's team came in third.
It feels very good to say that we can be the third best team in Texas and still be a team of all females.
Along with bragging rights, these teams get thousands of dollars worth of tools and other prizes.
I can use those for as long as I live, you know.
Not to mention the skills and know-how that will help them succeed beyond high school.
It's a life changer. It can take them from poverty level, we say, to $70,000, $80,000 a year job. Just coming out of this contest and learning these skills. So it's big time because it can change a person's life forever. I mean, really. We got 1,500 kids from 250 different school districts that have made a metal project.
From next-level chicken coops and lighted horse trailers,
starting from scratch with the raw metal,
to self-dumping hay trailers and plasma tables.
For my senior project this year, I decided to build a CNC plasma table because I want to start my own metal fabrication business.
Silverton FFA's Lindy Miller started putting this together over Christmas break.
Since then, I've had 4 ag periods a day, and so I work on it during the day and then after school until like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and it's just putting a lot of work into the details of everything.
She plans to put it to use at her family's cotton farm, where she'll be able to design and cut out metal signs and machine parts.
I know that some of our equipment is older and they discontinue the parts just because it is a little outdated.
Zeke Pate,
I'm 9 years old and I'm in 3rd grade.
Made this gate for his family's property in Tilden.
Yes.
He and his partner fabricated it, cutting the metal, welding and weaving it, even burning and treating the wood.
We spent about 6 months, but only 1 day a week.
By comparison, restoring this tractor,
it took me about a year and 9 months, about 240 hours.
Klein Forest senior William Harrison says he learned patience and consistency on top of basic repair skills.
I'm going to go to college at Navarro and go into their John Deere program and become a John Deere technician. This contest preps them for a career. It could prep them for a career in welding. It could prep them for a career in construction.
Some of these kids will go straight into the workforce, which is why the contest also hosted a job fair.
We're helping kids find careers, high-paying jobs.
And maybe most importantly, a passion for dreaming, building, and creating.
I'm always going to use the skills that I've learned in ag mechanics and in school.
The Ag Mechanics Show is the last weekend of rodeo. And if you want to see the Tractor Tech competition, that's March 6th. Both of those are in NRG Center. But if robots are your thing, head over to NRG Arena on March 15th. Here's what went down there last year.
These kids are doing some awesome work in the area of STEM related to agriculture.
They are designing, building, and programming robots.
It's difficult.
To tackle 6 challenges.
And this year's subject deals with pollination and bees.
Each team
I'm with Sabotage with Brazos County.
Gets 3 minutes to identify these bees and help them find their favorite plants.
That one was very, very hard to program because you got to get just right.
Harvest honey, plant seeds, spread pollen, and build a hive.
We missed some cubes.
Issues identified in one round have to get fixed before the team goes again.
These kids are having to use their heads very quickly to change and to revamp what's happening on the play field.
We also added a weight function. Yeah, weight function. So when you press it, it waits.
We made some tweaks to extend the program further to get the last cube because we didn't get all the cubes in, and that was about it.
Those tweaks did the trick. Caleb and the rest of the Brazos County 4-H team took home top honors. But every kid here walked away with valuable skills.
We're educating them on bigger things than just livestock, but how STEM plays into livestock and really helps us live a healthier life.
Maybe you're not enough of a pro to compete in anything ag-related, and you just want to learn. The rodeo gives you plenty of opportunity for free through AgVenture.
It's one of our educational agriculture exhibits here at the rodeo.
an exhibit loaded with exhibits.
We've got lots of great activities for families to come and enjoy, see the agriculture, see all the animals, and just realize how much agriculture plays a part in your everyday life.
AgVenture stretches across a good chunk of NRG Center and lets you take a tour of Texas,
where you can learn all about different crops that are grown in Texas.
Watch eggs hatch.
Very popular one.
Visit livestock in the petting zoo or barns.
For a lot of kids, they are seeing a cow for the very first time, up close and personal.
And so much more.
Then we have AgVenture Park, which has the parakeet exhibit, and the honeybee exhibit, and a soil exhibit where you can plant a sunflower seed, take it home and cultivate it and watch it grow.
Of course, who could forget the birthing center?
She's just ready to have a baby, I think.
It's the rare exhibit that grows by the dozens throughout rodeo.
It's wonderful. Everybody loves to see the little baby animals when they're born, but just the miracle of life.
The only part of AgVenture that costs money is the pony rides.
But everything else is free, so we hope that everybody will come and enjoy us. It's a lot of fun.
This is Fun on the Farm. It's an exhibit that's all about showing kids how products make it from the farm to the store.
They get to do all sorts of different farm chores.
Those chores start with getting seeds, which come in the form of these coins. They get to plant those in the corresponding garden, tomato, carrot, pepper, or onion, and add that veggie to their basket. Kids can learn how to milk a cow in the dairy barn before they head over to the sheep barn to learn about wool. They'll pretend to shear this guy, while the real thing hangs out a few feet away. And they can feel wool when it's raw, all the way through the process of becoming yarn. Over at the hen house, the real deal supervises while visitors feed these chickens, getting an egg in return. The farmer's job done, he or she gets to head to the farmer's market, maybe making a pit stop to play in the corn or say hi to the residents of Goat Mountain on the way.
At the end, they can sell all of their goods to the farmer's market.
The going rate for all those goodies is $1 howdy buck, which kids can spend at the grocery store. So they walk away with a treat and, volunteers hope, an understanding of how important agriculture is in our everyday life.
And if it's not fun, you're not going to want to do it. So we try to make it fun and enjoyable for them.
Another family favorite, mutton bustin'. Stephanie Simmons checked it out.
Yep, that's a child riding a sheep. In many parts of the country, people have never heard of such an event. But in Texas, at Rodeo Houston, mutton bustin' is a pint-sized tradition.
Mutton busting started about 13 years ago. It was really a trial run. We got the idea from the San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo, brought it over here, and it became a tremendous success instantly.
The inside arena mutton bustin' event is pre-selected months out, but the outdoor mutton bustin' shows happen daily, on the hour, every hour. It costs $15 and you can sign up on site.
We dress them, put a vest on and a helmet, and then, at showtime.
In order to participate, the kids have to be between 5 and 6 years old, 35 to 55 pounds, and I'll demonstrate how they do it. The kids will wrap their legs around and then wrap their arms around the neck, put their head down like a pillow, and then they open the gates and let the sheep go.
The rider rides all the way down to the, end of the arena, sometimes falling off before getting to the end.
Of course, with all the wipeouts, child and animal safety is a top priority, so the kids and the sheep never leave feeling bad.
We take great care of these animals. We have a vet on staff and on site that monitors animals.
There are no set rules to riding, and kids are judged based on style and crowd reaction.
It definitely gives exposure to these kids in what the real cowboys and cowgirls do out in the arena in Rodeo Houston.
2022 was a celebration of rodeo's return. I know we've mentioned that a time or two, or 20, but being back was a big deal for vendors, many of them who rely on the rodeo for their livelihood. Here are a few of their stories.
The rodeo has been described as the first domino to fall when COVID arrived in Houston a couple of years ago. With only a few hours' notice, vendors were told to pack up their wares and leave. For some of them, it was devastating. March 11th, 2020 is a day many rodeo vendors would like to forget.
We got apartments rented for the whole month, product on hand, made up. So yeah, we're gonna lose money. A lot of people are gonna lose money.
Fast forward to this week.
We plan to open tomorrow noon and each day at noon.
Fries and have them cooking.
Crews with the Yoakum Packing Company are in a rush to get ready.
I lose track of days.
The meat company's president, Glenn Cusack, says 2 years ago, nobody saw COVID coming.
We were full to the hilt with inventory, and just it totally caught us off guard. Some of those vendors didn't survive through all this pandemic, but luckily we've been able to maintain.
The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo accounts for approximately 20% of the packing company's annual business. They've been here for every rodeo season since 1964. Whether they'd return in 2022 was never a question.
We just have our jewelry done.
Crystal Cummings' jewelry booth had become a fixture at the rodeo here every season for more than a decade when it was canceled.
When it did shut down, we had an obscene amount of inventory still left in both of our trailers outside.
So all the stuff that you sold here?
In 11 days. Took us 5 months.
Her business survived, though. During the pandemic, she focused on selling her Western jewelry online. Nonetheless, she knew she had to come back.
It is a rather large portion of our yearly income.
Business was exceptional at last season's Nutcracker Market. She's hoping Houston will repeat itself over the next couple of weeks.
We're ready. We're excited.
In Houston, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
Oh my gosh, it's great to be back and the crowds are huge.
Betty Ann Blandon is serving up a cup of joe at the Primo's coffee booth.
We need a lot more people to know about Primo's, and that's why we're here at the rodeo.
This is video of Blandon at her family's property in Nicaragua, where the coffee is grown.
It comes directly from our farm. We go through the entire process from growing the coffee to harvesting it by hand, processing it, and then importing it here into Houston.
Then it gets roasted in Cove, just east of Baytown.
People don't really know where that magical brown elixir comes from, and it's a quite labor-intensive process.
If you want to give Primo's a try, you can swing by the booth here. And there are so many other vendors who are counting on sales to give them a boost after a rough couple of years.
After 4 decades in business, this family-owned toffee company still makes every batch pot by pot. They're hard at work this week preparing for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
For rodeo, I think we're estimating about 15,000 pounds this year.
Catherine Burkholder is ready to man her booth at NRG Center. She says on big days, they sell more than 1,000 pounds of candy, which is her grandfather's recipe.
The rodeo is huge for us. It is probably about 50% of our annual income.
So many rodeo vendors depend on Houston Rodeo, and missing 2 years forced some out of business.
It was absolutely devastating. It was absolutely devastating. We were doing everything that we could just to stay afloat, and luckily we're still here and we're thriving, and we're so excited for this year.
This kitchen will keep cranking out candy throughout the rodeo, so you know it's fresh. And every bag you buy allows vendors like this to keep doing what they love. Stephanie Whitfield, KHOU 11 News.
In a place where you can find just about anything rodeo related, jewelry, hides, crafts, even coffee, you can also find stories.
I put all the chips on the table.
Colleen Tuohy's story stands out, just like the shirts she designs.
UPF 50 plus, moisture wicking, quick dry, cut to fit a woman, and made in America.
2 years ago, Tuohy was working for Ralph Lauren when the pandemic provided a wake-up call.
I gave up my apartment in New York City. I purchased a canvas wall tent. I headed up to the Catskill Mountains to my brother's farm where I pitched the tent and got to work.
Got to work charting her next move.
I love the outdoors and was always disappointed with the offerings that we had as women. So I decided it was time that fashion met function.
Living off the grid with no electricity or running water, Tuohy designed, tested, redesigned.
And this is the result.
Wyatt Outdoors.
This is for somebody who loves to ride, fish, garden lunch.
The shirts are available at ML Letty's here at the rodeo and at its flagship store in Fort Worth.
They're celebrating their 70th year at the Houston Rodeo and 100 years in business, so to be here truly means the world to me.
Tui's story is one she didn't even know she'd start writing 2 years ago. Now she's adding a chapter at the rodeo.
I knocked on a lot of doors, asked a lot of questions, and didn't stop until I could make it happen.
When it's all said and done, millions of people will have come to the rodeo. Thousands upon thousands had to dust off their boots. For that, they went over to Polish Avenue and Shine Bright Drive.
No lie, no way.
You know, here at Classic Shine, we shine bright every day.
Denise Pullen and her team,
I'm bringing them back.
Turn those work boots into church boots.
There's nothing like a shiny pair of boots to change your life.
Classic Shine since 1983.
Life is good. I love it. I love it. Because every time somebody sits in your chair, it's a different story. There's no two stories the same.
2 years ago, those stories stopped. But Denise didn't.
Because that's what you have to do in life. You have to get up, you have to show up, and you have to ask for the business.
The business behind boots runs deeper than any pocketbook.
A well-dressed man always has shiny shoes or boots.
Gives a little more confidence, I guess.
Whether you're on the big stage or just roaming the halls at the rodeo.
Boy, I'm glad they shine.
Nellup is what?
Nellup is my last name spelled backwards. Sometimes in life, if you do things backwards, it turns out to be a forward-thinking way.
You say they're 30 years old?
As people move forward, the woman who's been shining shoes at the rodeo since 2003.
And we're back, and we're shining bright at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Xavier Walton. KHOU 11 News.
You know, something we kind of started talking about before the pandemic and coming up with ideas. How could we get out here? How could we do full service dining at the rodeo?
This was restaurateur Benjamin Berg's answer. A 16,000 square foot venue loaded with 3 bars and several different dining areas.
Where we're sitting now is our fine dining real steakhouse room.
With its wood floors and gorgeous chandeliers, when you're standing in here, you almost have to remind yourself, this is a tent.
Yeah, that was the goal, to not be in a tent. A lot of the photos are actually from the ranch where a lot of our American Wagyu comes from. We wanted to bring that Western heritage, that whole idea of the rodeo into here, but do it in a sophisticated, sexy way, have some fun with it.
Berg had some fun with the menu, too.
We really offer something for everyone.
From burgers and sandwiches to full caviar service and Wagyu and Japanese Kobe steaks. And that doesn't even cover the drink menu.
Full bars, but we have eight cocktails on draft. Really, I mean, I think I have a fuller selection of liquors out here than I do in my restaurants, or some of them at least.
It took Berg's team 4 weeks to build the ranch and its full-service kitchen from the ground up.
It's a real big challenge.
A lot of work that Berg says was worth it.
To see it come to life and to open the doors, that's when it gets fun.
The Ranch Saloon and Steakhouse will be back for 2023. It's debuting The Ranch After Dark, a nightlife experience only offered at the rodeo, featuring bottle service. Before we go, a look at this year's entertainers. Photojournalist Renee Levine was there for the lineup announcement.
Good evening and welcome. We are live inside NRG Stadium.
This has been a very busy entertainment year. We've got a tremendous lineup of stars.
Oh, I'm very excited. I can't wait.
You guys ready to find out who's going to play at the show?
And now, here's your 2023 Rodeo Houston entertainer lineup. Tuesday, February 28th, Texas native singer-songwriter Parker McCullum.
Lots of people are out touring, and so the big challenge this year was getting the artists' calendar to coincide with our calendar.
Brooks and Dunn. March 2nd, two-time Grammy Award winner Christian artist Lauren Daigle. March 3rd, featuring Bun B's Southern Takeover.
I'm thrilled. Why? Because I cannot wait to see Bun B. I can't wait to see what he does.
Southern culture is a big part of life as well. They're cowboys. They understand rodeo lifestyle. So I said, let's make this about the South this time.
Machine Gun Kelly, March 15th. Country music icon Kenny Chesney.
Absolutely. Kenny Chesney, I wouldn't miss it. I've been following Kenny Chesney since people thought his tractor was sexy.
New Kids on the Block, Wednesday, March 8th.
New Kids on the Block, that was my people.
Like, you know what? I'm definitely like a 90s, 80s kid. I might need to go and relive my youth a little bit.
We're going to celebrate a great 2023.
The rodeo starts February 28th, goes to March 19th. Let's rodeo. We can't wait to see you in Houston.
I think we covered it all. If you weren't ready to rodeo before, you definitely are now. And if you need to revisit any of this, just text the word rodeo to 713-526-1111. We'll text you back some helpful links. You can always dig into these stories at khu.com/rodeo. That's where we'll add stories we do in the coming weeks. You'll also be able to watch them on KHU 11 on air, online via khu.com and YouTube, as well as by using our KHU 11 Plus app on Roku and Fire TV. See you there.